Alright, hello world. I'm gonna show you guys my version of a King of the Skull Servants deck profile. It's one of my favorite decks. I've been working on it for years, and I feel like lately I've just been like really hitting the stride with the combos and like different cards that I have in and out of my extra deck. So get into this really quick. So start off with 3 King of the Skull Servants. Obviously your boss monster, you want to see this first turn, any turn, whole game. You want to have him on the field, be in the presence of just a big beater. He gains 1,000 attack for each Skull Servant and King of the Skull Servant in the grave. So every card in Archetype acts as Skull Servant in the grave, so you're able to beef him up really heavy very fast, okay? So in the Archetype play starter, we have 3 White Princess. She's really cool. She's also a hand trap where you can pitch her from the hand or the field. And then all monsters on the field lose 300 attack times their level or rank. So those really big, beefy monsters lose a lot of attack when they're on the field, or say you're forced to go first. It's really good to just pitch her to the graveyard, and then all your opponent's monsters lose a lot of attack. And King is only 1 star, so he only loses 300 attack. So, and he doesn't even lose it. Off her effect, he technically gains 700. So it's actually pretty good. So then our other play starter would be 3 White Prince. White Prince is really good. He really changed the archetype as far as how fast it can be played and how you're able to access King. Whereas once he hits the graveyard, he fills you up with 1 Skull Servant and then 1 Lady in White. So then you can banish him and 2 Skull Servants from grave. And like I said, everything is a Skull Servant in grave. And special summon King from deck. So sure, you lose 3 Skull Servants, but you're able to get him back. So next cards we'll play is 3 Vanilla Skull Servants. Not much to say, just a skeletal ghost that can mean trouble in large numbers. Then we have 3 Lady in White. Her effect doesn't come up much, but when it does, it actually does help you. It can help protect you. Say you want to swing for game and you're worried about like back row and stuff like that, traps. Leave her face up and then King is unaffected. I mean, it's not like a meta play, but like somebody flipped magical cylinders on me the other day, and it instantly wrecked them because the attack goes through because it affected the monster. So then we have our last white card. It's White Mare. This card is a card you want to see in your opening hand. I used to not see the value in him because at the end of the day, you don't really want your Skull Servants to be banned. But when they are banned, they're banned for a reason. So you're trying to gain advantage, and this is just another advantage gainer. So you want to see him in your hand or a version of that with like Where Art Thou or something like that in your first hand at all times, okay? So that's the white cards. Now for like a little baby zombie engine, have 3 Unizombie and 3 Mizuki. The idea for this is just to keep the zombie engine very small, but very friendly to the very specific archetype, because Skull Servants is a very specific archetype. Sure, you can play off different stuff with like level 1s and stuff like that, but the way you can game the system most is by taking advantage of them being zombies. So with Unizombie being so broken, especially for the deck, being able to get rid of cards out of your hand and from the deck, so it's just really, really good. It's a really, really good advantageous card, and you just want to see, you don't necessarily want to see that, you want to see this going first. You don't want to see this going second, because you can make Dweller and also Psyframe with this, whereas White Princess, you want to go into like Levianair going second to beef up your graveyard. So that's the zombie engine. Now for hand traps or interruption cards. 3 Nibiru. Nibiru, I feel, is really, really good in this format. The new Master Rule where link restrictions aren't a thing. You drop Nibiru. Some of the top decks can recover from it, and some of the top decks can prevent a Nibiru. But if you drop the Nibiru at the right time, usually it's a pass turn, and then you just got to get over that beefy token. But that's that. And then 1 Pankratops. I feel like Pankratops going second. You're not going to see it as much as you used to, obviously being at 3, but when you do see it, it is a very impactful card. So it's one of those cards you do like to see. So then we're going to get into the spell cards. So I run 3 Allure. 3 Allure is like the card, I guess you could say, in question for the archetype, where, like I said, you don't want to ban your Skull Servants, but you can generate advantage with them being banned. So if you open Allure and Lady in White, you pitch the Lady in White always, because you're going to want to special summon her with White Mare. or even just a Skull Servant, pitch the Skull Servant, and put him right back in with White Mare. So that's like I said, White Mare is really key with this because it's just advantage gaining, whether it be filling up your graveyard more and or being able to give you like additional special summons through White Mare and stuff like that. So Allure is very, very good. And then sometimes you can open up with this, banish your Unizombie, and then be able to Levianeer your Unizombie back, which is like, it's a really amazing play. So the next three of play 3 Where Art Thou. Where Art Thou is really key in the deck because everything, or most of your power cards are level 1. So you usually are searching off a White Mare for this or a White Prince, depending on the situation, what you need to fill up your graveyard, how you need to go in your plays, how you need to go about your plays. So then the next cards we'll play are 2 Burial from a Different Dimension. Burial from a Different Dimension, you don't want to see more than one of this in your hand, but you do want to see this. This card is amazing in this deck, not only for your Mizukis, your Skull Servants, everything. People try to banish stuff. It's a really banish heavy, I think, meta, everything like that. So you can bring these back. It's amazing. 2 Called by the Grave. This is kind of like a baby combo deck, so you want to make sure that all of your pieces go through when you do play them, okay? So then the last cards that I play in here, I guess you could say like the power spell cards. 1 Foolish, 1 Instant, and 1 1-for-1. So Foolish, I think obviously self-explanatory considering the deck. Instant Fusion, it's really, really good because this is a going second deck. So if you get this, you just go into Thousand Eyes, take a monster, then go into Relinquished Anima, take another monster. It's amazing. 1-for-1 is one of those cards that if you see it in your opening hand, you're able to generate so much advantage because you discard at cost. So most of the cards that you're discarding are you want in the graveyard anyway. So people, obviously, you're susceptible to Called by Grave and all that type of stuff, but it's able those things to just give you you're able to at least go neutral in the deck with how everything has a really good graveyard effect. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. It is 41 cards, and I really wouldn't change it. If anything, you can take out the Pankratops if you want an exact 40. Okay, so then I'm gonna go into the extra deck. The extra deck is one of those things where I feel like everybody has their own flair on the deck and their own spice, but mine, I feel like I have some decent reasoning behind mine. So obviously you want to play Nightmare Package, just a small one, just the 3, just Unicorn, Cerberus, and Phoenix. Obviously spin, pop a special summon, pop a back row, just really good effects. You're gonna go into this. I make Phoenix a lot. I probably make Phoenix every game. Then we're gonna go into just the 1 Zombie Link 2, the Avenged Savior, really good. 2 zombie type monsters, and it's a Foolish on damage calculation, which is amazing. It reduces the attack of the monster that you're attacking by 200 times their level. So you usually just pitch in a White Prince, so it doesn't take away that much attack. Or sometimes like you'll be able to pitch like a Mizuki if you need to get like your special summon in the mid game. Then we're gonna go into the Link 1s. So we have Relinquished Anima, Linkuriboh, and Link Spider. So going second, obviously, like I said, the deck is meant to do. Link Spider is really cool. If you draw 2 Skull Servants, you make a Link 2 really easy. Linkuriboh is really good if you just open up White Prince, and then you can just have a instant king. And then Relinquished Anima is really, really good. Like I said, open up Thousand Eyes Restrict, take 2 monsters. Even if not, somebody leaves like a Borreload right there, Borreload Savage, instantly bait the negate by trying to steal it. Instantly bait the negate. So you're gonna want to do that. All types of stuff. So those are the Link 1s, really, really good Link 1s, I would say. They're pretty much necessity in the deck. So then I like to play XYZs. I feel like XYZs have not gotten bad. If anything, have gotten better. I think Levianeer is super broken in the new format, just not needing a Link Arrow how it should have always been. So we play 1 Dweller. I feel like it's just a really good card to make against a lot of decks. You make Dweller, usually they're going to have a hard time playing around their turn. Then I play 2 Levianeer. You can make 2 on your first turn if you really have a good hand and your opponent doesn't have a lot of interruptions, and that's what you want to do. You want to make 2 of these, bring back as much banish monsters as possible, create a board. 1 Dante. I used to go for a very mill style in this deck. I kind of stepped away from that because I feel like it's very guess based, whereas I want to narrow down exactly what I'm going to do. But sometimes it's a good going first option just because it has a wall, and then you can generate some options. But like I said, it's very guess based. Then I'll play 1 number 31, Embodiment of Punishment. It's kind of a cheese card. Doesn't always get you out of a situation, but it will force your opponent to pop this, because in the battle phase you detach a material and they're forced to attack it and they take all the damage, and it doesn't die when it has a material. You just have one material and it will not die. So that's really good. I feel like I said, in time, if you make this, if they force you to go first in time, just make this and you're going to force them to pop this because they cannot attack it. So then what we're going to do is we have the last cards. So we have one Psyframe, one Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, and one Thousand Eyes Restrict. So I don't like to make synchros that much because I don't have a lot of tuners. Obviously, this is just the one Unizombie. So you'll make this if you can, keep the Unizombies level at 3. You make this if you switch to 4, and then this, obviously, your instant fusion target. You don't make these that much, but this is usually a going first play. This is a mid-game play, and this is an opening instant fusion play. So that's the deck, the cards that I think you would really want to play and to have in the deck. Then I'll go over really quick kind of like options for siding, because you want to think, what's the deck vulnerable to? Obviously, you just ran through the deck. It's not a lot of inherent spell and trap removal. So usually game 1, if people flip Mystic Mine on you, you're fucked and you're going to have to go to the next one. So what you're going to have to do is I play a heavy back row removal. So start off, I play 3 Twin. I feel like Twin Twist is probably one of the better side deck cards you can have. It's amazing. Always have 3 Twin. 3 Prohibition. I think it's a side deck staple, and definitely a local staple. You get used to what your friends play at locals. Just have that in your side deck, being able to flip it on them at all times. It's pretty cool. And then we're gonna go into like meta picks for what you need. This for Eldritch, so 2 Royal Decree, then 1 Red Reboot. I would possibly play 3 Royal Decree just for consistency, but Red Reboot really shuts 1 turn down. 1 turn that you're going to be absolutely shut down, and that's what you want. You want to shut down turns in this game, not necessarily add a floodgate, because they can pop this still. So what I want to do is, like I said, back row really gives me problems, so this is a really good card. Pendulums, 6 Samurai, a lot of different cards that need their opening, like they need a spell card face up opening turn. Opening this, just being able to pop stuff is really amazing. Breaking Scales, it's amazing. So then the other thing that this deck has is, if I can't beat over something and it can't be targeted, you're going to lose. So you want to have something that you're able to get rid of the card entirely. Okay, so 3 Gamecill, I feel like, is a really good card, because if you draw this and somebody has up just even an Avermax, smoke to Avermax, dude. Because Avermax is one of those cards that it really gives you a hard time. Do you know what I mean? Borreload Savage, exactly. Boral Sword. Feed them the Gamecill, let them stew on that, beat over it. Really good card. The card is good for is like Herald of Perfection, or the one Ritual Monster, whatever. Give that to them. It's amazing. I love it. I love seeing the freak out. So there's that. Those are the side deck cards. So there it is, you guys. If you like it, give it a like. If you don't, tell me what you think I should fix. We can discuss it, and then I will find a way to prove you wrong. So thank you very much. You guys have a good one.